Hi, welcome back. You're watching Money, Money, Money. With us is Harish Rao, who's an investment coach at Simple Equation. And today we're talking about effective personal budgeting. So we've spoken a bit about, what constitutes a personal budget and how do you sort of get started. But, Harish, how do you account for something like, a variable income or variable expenses? Because, a lot more people now are in freelance work today, so they may, of course, find it tough to get loans because they don't have that consistent salary statements, etc. As well, they can have sudden expenses. So how can their budget reflect these sort of realities?
This is such a terrific question, Sumera. This is such a good question. See, there is a golden rule in this. If your human capital is uncertain, then your financial capital or investment capital better be certain. If your human capital is very certain, then your financial capital can be uncertain or you can take more risk. So, for example, if you're a tenured professor in a government college, okay, that means your human capital or your visibility of earnings is very, very certain. Okay, so definitely then you can take more risk with your financial capital. But if your human capital is uncertain or has got a very, very short shelf life, then you got to make your financial capital all that more solid or all that more predictable. Okay, that having been said, there are many people in who are self-employed or in the gig economy who are earning very, very well. So for such people with great one-off paydays or with windfall sort of earnings, they can take some risk provided they have made their their budgets very, very certain or their goal planning very, very certain. Okay, in case you think that your earnings are too volatile or too unpredictable, then you better start having a contingency fund, which is very, very important. Okay. In fact, most planners insist that the contingency fund is the #1 step to financial planning. Okay, the contingency fund could be something like 12 months of living expenses. That's very, very important. Just having a contingency fund would enable you to, take those slightly, bigger risks in life that, give you that freedom or give you that, the joy in living. Just knowing that you have a contingency fund to cover for any expense. So that is very, very important. So again, I would hugely recommend that people who are on a variable income or who have extremely volatile income fluctuations, they meet a financial planner. They need to have a fix on their goal value. They need to really know the importance of cash flows, etc., and then they can take it forward.
So Harish, it's not enough just to have a budget, right? I mean, it's a moving target. So how and when should a budget be reviewed?
Yeah, I think a budget should be reviewed whenever there is a change in life circumstances. Like, for example, if one of the spouse changes his or her job or, starts a new business, that's, one example. Or if there is a new addition to the family, that's another example. Or you might have got a windfall. You might have got, inherited a lot of money from one of your parents. Now, so in all these cases, your liabilities cease to exist. That means you have paid the final EMI on your house. So in each of these cases, you can definitely, review and, recalibrate your budget. There was one very, very good piece of advice that someone gave me regarding budgeting. A really good way of keeping a budget is to have two separate bank accounts. One bank account is for your consumption and your expenses, and the other bank account is for your investments. Okay. Under no circumstances can your investment bank accounts ever be used for consumption or expenses. So this by itself, ring fences, both the accounts, the investment account as well as the consumption or expense account. So that part of the philosophy should be non-negotiable, Sumera. That's I think is a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's a question that even I've been asking, that some very, very important goals likewise should have their own portfolio, so that that temptation to sort of dip in is just, magically removed, so to say. But Harish, you shared an absolutely fantastic piece of advice. So let me lean in on your experience a little bit more. Any other practical budgeting tips that you can talk about?
I read this book called Your Money or Your Life by a couple called Vicky Robin and Joe Dominguez. Now, this was a book that reached the New York Times bestseller list. And this book became extremely popular after the 2008 global financial crisis. This book has got, a very alluring chapter called 100 Ways to Save Money. And any guess on what's the number one way to save money? The authors say the number one method to save money is stop trying to impress others. Okay. The moment we stop trying to impress others, we will get, a separate wind in our wings, to embrace budgeting, to, look at frugality as something that's very, very essential and, which will contribute to our long-term fulfillment and freedom. So I think that's a good thing to, take out at the end of this program, Sumera. Let's stop trying to impress others. Our money is for our consumption and our, life goals and our life values. The moment we try to impress others, then, we don't set the agenda and other people's reaction to our, purchases move the needle, which should not be the case.
No, absolutely. And, I'm all for normalizing living within our means. And I really wish that more people would, listen to this advice. And by the way, related to this, I read a very, very interesting piece on stealth wealth. So, this is a rising concept in the US, where the rich don't want to flaunt their wealth. Of course, there's an IRS angle to it, and they don't want to get into the IRS. But I thought it was fantastic. I mean, stealth wealth, it's for a safety net for you, and really, like you said, not a tool to impress others. But any specific apps or some, a software that you would recommend for budgeting, or would a simple Excel spreadsheet do?
If you need an app to do budgeting, you are already in trouble. It's your diagnostic that you are in trouble if you need an app for budgeting. Budgeting should be in your DNA. It should be in your life ethic. But jokes apart, I think a simple Excel sheet will do. I have actually seen many of my friends show me their Excel sheets, and I've been very impressed with the way they have saved money for their retirement, and they are very, very wealthy because of their personal budget. Okay, so and all of them use an Excel sheet and their own planners. So which I think shows that if you can combine very simple tools like an Excel sheet with strong commitment to saving and long-term investment, you are on the ticket to good financial freedom.
Yeah, absolutely, Harish. You said it well. All that's required is a commitment on our part to really do the right thing. Thanks very much, Harish, for joining in. So, there you heard it, all about effective personal budgeting and why you need it. I mean, it seems that with time, a lot of us are ignoring, the math on our personal budget, but it's really something that you can, occupy a few weekends with. And trust me, in the long run, it will really, really help you. Thank you very much for watching this special edition of Money, Money, Money. We'll see you again next week.